This is Conversations from the Cave. I'm your host, Kirk Kennedy. It is a special show tonight for a couple of reasons. Number one, we're doing a live broadcast from Chicago, Illinois. The show is normally recorded in Alabama, and we are not there. So it's typically done at 8:30 on Sunday nights, and we broadcast it at noon the following Sunday. But this time we decided to actually do something a little different, and I'm joined in studio today by the most special woman that I know. And she is finally joining me actually live on the show. I don't think we've ever done a show together.
No, we haven't.
We have never done a show.
No.
She has her own show that she does from time to time, has her own podcast, and she does a lot of other things, so she's a personality in and of herself. But she's graciously agreed to hang out with this guy over here for, say, the next 45 minutes. So we're excited to have you in the studio here in Chicago. Miss Patricia Mendez is hanging out with me, and just pretty excited about that.
Well, I'm excited to be here.
So today's show is going to be a topic that is for our single guys, and it is what women want, what they really want, and perhaps what they don't want. Common misconceptions that men and women have about the dating process. So we thought this would be a great opportunity to talk to an actual woman about some things that women really actually want, and perhaps really don't want, that men think they do. All right, so I would like to start out with, I usually borrow from my experiences during the week. And this week, we had the opportunity to see a gentleman who was probably in his late 60s on a motorcycle here in Chicago. And he, each evening at between 6:30 and 8:30, parks his motorcycle outside of the Target and plays illicit music from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Perhaps even the early 90s if you count Boyz II Men. I think he was playing Boyz II Men one of those nights. And then Rod Stewart, If You Think I'm Sexy, I think was one of his favorites. So this man was in a bad way. Clearly, he wanted female company and was finding unique and unusual ways to garner female attention. Now, I didn't say it was positive, but it was clearly garnering a lot of attention because people from the Target looked with awe and amazement. So let's talk about that for a minute. Is that what women want? Somebody on a motorcycle with, a ponytail and perhaps loud music from the 70s?
Absolutely not.
Why wouldn't women want that? That's pretty macho, don't you think?
No, it's
No?
not. It's not macho at all. It's crazy. It's just crazy. And we don't want crazy men.
So let's talk about that. So what do women really want when they, we think about having the fast sports car, we think about having, a lot of money, maybe a little flashy bachelor pad. Is that like really important for the dating process? Should guys get that bachelor pad, get that cool car to...
Now, understand the perspective I'm coming from.
Okay.
Is not from a 20-year-old.
Okay, so we're talking about a mature woman now, somebody who's got some sense.
Yes.
So we're not talking about just, the knucklehead, superficial women. We're talking about women who are looking for women of substance, looking for men of substance. Right. So we need to actually narrow the view to that group. Okay, so let's talk about substantive women. What do substantive women look for in a man, seriously?
Well, you want someone who, and it sounds very cliche, you want someone who's confident but not arrogant.
Okay, confidence, not arrogant.
Kindness goes a long way. Politeness, being courteous.
Mm-hmm.
If you notice, I haven't mentioned driving a Corvette or
Okay,
fancy car
let's
like
not
that.
let's not dig too deeply into the whole Corvette thing. Let's try to focus on a general thing. I mean, let's not show any haterade
No, never.
to the best sports car in America.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have these men, and that's the tricky part of when you're dealing with a quote-unquote middle-aged man. I don't like that term.
Okay.
Because I just prefer, like you said, mature.
Mature.
So you have two different types of mature men.
Okay.
That mature age range. You
Okay.
have the ones that are going through their second youth, they're teenagers again, and they're terrible. They're the ones that are, they just kind of, their life changes, and they'll buy sports cars and they'll buy flashy clothes. I mean, everything they felt they didn't get to do when they were younger, or maybe they did, they want to relive it for whatever reason. I don't know. That's a no.
Okay, now why is that a no?
Because, well, first of all, they usually want younger women to make them feel younger. And they're all about themselves. So they're very superficial. And they don't... You have to have self-confidence. You have to like yourself. You know, if you love yourself, even better. Then you have the men that are... so I would say those are no.
Okay. So women don't like men who are just superficial, meaning that they've got the trappings, they've got maybe enough wealth to look successful. What do you say to the older guy who's got got the nice bachelor pad and car? Should he not have those things? Or?
Absolutely not. But when you have those things to define who you are,
so you're talking about
that's a whole different story.
You're talking about the person's identity being tied to their things, and that's what you're saying is not a good thing.
I find unattractive. Now, there are women, mature women, who are superficial. So again, my perspective is from a woman who is not superficial.
Right.
Who is comfortable in her own shoes.
Okay.
I love me. So I want a man who loves himself.
Got you.
But not full of himself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's a big difference because I think being secure in your identity means that the things that are around you don't define you. Those are the things that come as a result of you being you, and you shouldn't allow that. You shouldn't work for those things. You should work as you are, and those things should be a natural outpouching. Let's talk a little bit about some of the other issues associated with this notion of what is desirable in men. Are there other attributes of manhood that women find particularly attractive and important to have?
Of course.
What are those things?
Well, I, again, my perspective, and I know there's a lot of women like myself, we want a man who is a man. I don't want to be with a man who is kind of feminine.
You don't like effeminate men?
No, it's okay to be in touch with their feminine side, because I think when a man is in touch with his feminine side, he could be sensitive to a woman's needs. Yes, but I don't want a dude who is. I guess it goes back to traditional male and female roles. I don't have a problem with that. I know nowadays it's a big deal. You know, feminism. You have to be independent and a strong woman. You can be a strong woman, but me, I can be a strong woman, and I think I am. But it's nice to have a strong man by my side.
Indeed,
it doesn't make me weak. So I want someone, who will open the door for me. Or, just be kind. Have a nice, kind conversation. We can go out or we can stay in. It's not always about how much money he's spending on you. I mean, that's nice, but it's not just about that. So someone desirable would be someone who is masculine but not macho, like a machista. And in my culture, that's very common. And it's weird because it's attractive for a little bit, but then it's not anymore because it could go
really bad, really
bad.
wrong, really quick. So masculinity, when you're defining masculinity from a female perspective, are you defining it from what are the attributes of masculinity that
Attract me?
that are considered attractive versus those which are considered undesirable.
Okay, well, I like a
Because
man.
I just wanted to say we've had several shows on the what is masculinity, because that Feminism 101, which we've had a show about that, has redefined what it is to be masculine and what it is to be appropriate as a man versus the notion of this traditional male role, a priest, provider, protector. Those things are the typical traditional roles that men have, whereas now, there's some ambiguity in that. Blurred lines, so to speak. So what, if you were as a woman looking at this, what would you define as characteristics that would be more appropriate to redefine manhood in light of those recent developments?
It's quite simple in Patricia world. A gentleman. And when I say a gentleman, I mean someone who is going to be respectful toward women. I always like to see how a man treats his wife if I'm going to be in a relationship with them. I mean, not his wife. Oh, Lordy, I don't want to be in a relationship with a man. Woo!
Okay.
With his
So add
mama.
wife to the kid.
No. Someone who could get down and dirty, clean his car, work on his car, get a little greasy. I find that to be kind of, it's kind of nice that a man can get dirty and do manly things, like fix things. I like that.
Yeah.
And not to say that women can't do that, because me personally, I can't. But my sisters, they're very handy. They can fix and make anything. But me, I like a man to do that. I just think it makes him look masculine.
Yeah.
And, it's
Sure.
just, ooh.
Right, I'm feeling you on that one. Yeah, I get you. and probably everybody else in the room is probably feeling that too. So
Ooh, I need a drink.
So it is exciting to see those differences between male and female. And what you're talking about is being authentic as a man, and then being male. Not this metro.
No.
Metrosexual. Wearing a purse thing.
No.
That's not really.
No.
Okay. Let's talk about the ways in which men approach women, because clearly the motorcycle outside of the of the Target was probably not the move that successful. It wasn't a successful move for this gentleman. Obviously, the many nights we've seen him do this, he's not had success. So my question is, how, besides the club scene and how to approach a woman so it's not offensive? Because I think guys put it on the line. There are some guys who put it on the line all the time, and they're constantly shot down, and that can be very difficult. Then you've got some guys who are, swipe left, swipe right, social dating, professional daters, and they've always got the lines and those kind of things, which we can probably talk about internet dating at some point, because I think that's another whole thing which you have stories on, and I'm sure that those are going to be some great stories. We might have to do a part deux for that. But we know that there is a different dynamic in dating now for everyone. So the question is, what are proper ways to approach a woman that you may find interesting publicly versus improper ways to garner a woman's attention that don't seem seedy, kind of Leisure Suit Larry dude-ish, that kind of thing, or Mr. Harley Ponytail dude,
or
like
Mr.
that
old man who was very wealthy and.
Okay, we are going to touch that. We're going to touch on that one, because I think that was pretty. We're going to borrow from some experiences. That's going to be our next one. I think we need to talk about that seedy old man, dirty old man phenomena, because it is a very relevant thing. We touched on it on social media dating, where a drastically older man tries to hit on a drastically younger woman, utilizing money as the main motivator to garner her attention for illicit activity. But so what are the proper ways to approach women in this modern age, if you will?
Well, I think...
what do you think about online dating?
That's a tricky question because my